Hello again. This is Jim Turr at the Santa Fe Film Festival, 10th annual edition, 2009. I am privileged to be interviewing one of our festival tributees, Ellen Kuras. Ellen, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really glad to be here at Santa Fe. It's my first time being here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And have you been tributeed before anywhere else?
Yes, I've
Besides almost winning an Academy Award last year?
Yeah, being nominated for an Academy Award last year and the Spirit Award was really a special event, especially because it was for a film that I directed and produced and DP'd, The Betrayal, which I made over a course of 23 years.
Wow.
I followed a family for 20 years who had come from Laos, and it's about their journey and the father being involved with the CIA during the war and what happened to that family when we basically abandoned the country.
I remember now, and I didn't see it last year, and I'm sorry I didn't. It was at the Santa Fe Film Festival, too,
It
right?
was. And Howard Shore...
What a great premise.
Well, Howard Shore, who was our composer, also accompanied the film. He is very well known for having scored films like Lord of the Rings and Gangs of New York, and, you know, he's an incredible composer, so I was really glad that we were able to show the film here. But, you know, for me, being here in Santa Fe and having the film here last year at Santa Fe and being, you know, a tributee means a lot because I actually started filmmaking because I was very interested in Native American culture, and I studied Native American culture, particularly the Navajo, at Brown University when I was there back in the 80s. And for me, filmmaking was a way of being able to talk about, you know, the human condition and talk about people and what happens to people in small-scale societies who live, such as the Native Americans have lived in this country where they were free, and then being put on reservations so many years ago, lost a touch of their touch and their connection with the land. And that's kind of been a stream that's run through all of my work, both as a director and as a cinematographer. So it's very, you know, very moving for me to be here.
Well, I want to mention the films of yours that I have seen, a couple of which I didn't know till a minute ago, because these are all films I've liked and that also had a very distinctive look. And one of them, probably maybe the least known one, was Swoon, the story of Leopold and Loeb, who are from my hometown. I mean, one of them lived in Charlevoix, Michigan. Did you pick that up in the course of the filming?
Well, you know, yes, very much so. I mean, what was really interesting about Swoon was that we really didn't have very much money at all. It was the first time that I ever shot a narrative film. We shot it in black and white on regular 16 millimeter back in 1990. And that film was very significant for me because it was the first time that I actually thought about how to shoot something in a dramatic way. And it was the first time that I ever shot black and white. And when that film came out, it was kind of the doors that opened up for me into another world because I won the Best Cinematography Award at Sundance, which was the first time that I won it, and I've won it now 3 times. But it was the first time that I won that award, and all of a sudden, everybody started paying attention to who is this person who, you know, used to do documentaries, is now doing significant dramatic work.
So another film of yours that I really loved was Summer of Sam. That was a fantastic bit of entertainment and very gripping. Anything to say about that one?
Yeah, you know, Summer of Sam is actually showing here at the film festival tomorrow.
Oh, I would recommend that one.
And it's, I think it's showing at 9 p.m., and I will be there to do a question and answer afterwards. It's one of, I think, Spike's best movies, and one of the films that I worked with him on that was, it was for me one of the most creative experiences as a cinematographer to be able to have a director who wanted me to push the envelope. And the story basically is about David Berkowitz, who in the summer of 1977 rained terror across New York, and I remember it as a child, having grown up in New Jersey nearby. And so for me, I was trying to capture a certain sensibility, but cinematography is, I think, goes beyond. I can't tell you how many times I got called by cinematographers from my peers from the ASC, the American Society of Cinematographers, asking me about, so how did you do that, and how did you do this?
Oh, really?
And, you know, sharing the ideas about the look and the ideas behind it.
About that film in particular?
About Summer of Sam in particular. So I encourage anybody who's interested in Spike's work, and the visual medium to come see it, because it's rare that we have a chance to see it projected in a theater.
I would have to say that was my favorite of his films that I've seen, now that I think about it. That was a film with everything. Very gripping. And Blow by Johnny Depp, I saw that too. I like that too. You shot that.
Yeah, that was directed
Johnny
by
Depp.
the late Ted Demme. We shot that in 2002. And that was, again, a film that was very challenging. We had 5 different periods that we had to depict, the course of the life of the character that Johnny plays. And Ted was a director who is, always wanted me to challenge myself in terms of the visual medium. So, I have to say I've had great opportunity in my career to work with directors who are visually attuned and who want to create meaning with their stories.
I want to mention some of your other films we haven't covered. Andy Warhol's, I shot Andy Warhol, Away We Go. Away We Go?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's a separate film.
Yes, Away We Go just came out this past year. It was directed by Sam Mendes, who, of course, we know won an Academy Award for The Road to Perdition and American Beauty.
American Beauty, yeah. Neil Young, Heart of Gold.
Yes, Neil Young, Heart of Gold, which is playing on Saturday.
Oh, here.
Here at the festival, and which I'm very happy about, because it's a movie that for any music lover should see. And I've gone through a music phase in my career where I started doing films about and with musicians. I shot Bob Dylan for the Marty Scorsese documentary, and I was one of the camera people on the Rolling Stones documentary with Scorsese, and also did Berlin with Lou Reed. But Neil Young's film was really very important to me, because he was somebody who's inspired me from many, many years ago, and who I listen to every day practically. And I think that Neil's songs have so much meaning. And one of the things that I wanted to do with Heart of Gold was to create a series of portraits, a series of paintings that would be metaphors for Neil's work, and really find the intersection in music and in composing and in the visual medium. And I think, working with Jonathan Demme and Neil together, we were a team that was really, I think, came out with a portrait of Neil, who had created these songs in the interim between his aneurysm and his operation, of someone who was facing his own mortality, facing the demise of our civilization, and nature and the intersection of man and nature, and all of that is there in his songs, and I hope that we showed in the film.
So you cover some of his political and environmental work in this film, do you?
Well, it's not a documentary per se; it's a music film. It's a concert film. So
I see, right.
I think that you get that through what Neil has to say.
And possibly, I don't know if this would have been your biggest picture in terms of theatrical release and publicity, but Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is everybody's favorite. I go all over the world and people say, oh my God, you shot that film. And it was, working with Michel Gondry, who was the director, was an amazing exploration of imagery, of working with the actors, of working with someone as talented as Kate Winslet, who, is an incredible person as well as an actor. And, we wanted to try to find the balance between the technique of making Kate disappear within the film, which is part of the film, is about this man who wants to erase part of his memory after a relationship gone bad. And so it was a very experimental film in many ways, but we wanted to do as many of the effects in camera as possible. So that, of course, is my department with Michelle. And I think we managed to strike the balance of being able to have these really incredible techniques of the camera with the emotional part of the story.